The Afghan Taliban have once again rocked Afghanistan as they carried out attack on a government building of Kabul that left 43 people dead and many others injured. The terrorists had stormed the government building with several assault rifles and also blew up a car outside the building in a suicide bomb attack. Newsweek South Asia has a report.
The end of the year 2018 brought one of the deadliest attacks on Kabul. The latest terror attack in Afghanistan began when a suicide bomber blew up his explosives-laden car in front of a government building that houses a public welfare department in an eastern neighborhood of Kabul. Before the civilians and the security forces could even understand what had happened, the attackers who were holding the assault rifles had already stormed the government building. Then the attackers rampaged through the building of the Ministry for Martyrs and Disabled Persons, taking workers hostage, and others fought a prolonged gun battle with local security forces.
I was walking down the road and saw a vehicle parked in the area when suddenly a huge explosion occurred. I don't know whether it was a rocket or a suicide bomb, but it knocked me down.
The violence which Pakistan is causing is tremendous. Pakistan-sponsored terrorism is active in India, in Kashmir and rest of the parts of the country. It is also very active in Afghanistan. Its terrorists have trying to spread their wings to the Central Asian republics. In fact, the Chinese Uyghurs are also being trained there, and so on and so forth. So the area of influence of terrorism created by Pakistan is much larger as compared to Syria and Iraq.
Following the blast, the attackers got involved into a fierce gunfight against Afghan military for many hours. The clash between the armed forces and the terrorists went on for 10 hours that killed 1 policeman and 3 gunmen. The Afghan police had evacuated more than 350 people during the hours-long standoff with the gunmen inside the government compound. Some employees had managed to either hide or jump out of windows. It was the deadliest assault in the Afghan capital since a suicide bomber had blew up himself in the middle of a religious gathering last month, killing at least 55 people.
بسیار یک صدای خطرناک انفجار شد. از این انفجار ترسیدیم، از این سایه خود کشیدیم. بسیار زیاد مردم پریشان شد. گریز زن مرد کلش پیاده روان بود می طرف.
The violence which they have been able to create is also quite large. And the worst is that while the violence in Syria and Iraq seems to be reducing, and maybe in a short while we are going to have peace there, that is not going to be the case in Pakistan, because Pakistan's biggest export today is to train international terrorists. So therefore, the study is very right that Pakistan is spreading terrorism not only to Afghanistan and India, but to many other parts of the country, and therefore its potential to create terrorism in the rest of the world has to be looked at very, very closely, and corrective actions taken to stop from doing it.
As soon as the US announced the withdrawal of around 5,000 troops from Afghanistan, the Pakistan-funded Taliban terrorists launched a major attack in Kabul. The possibility of thousands of US troops leaving has triggered confusion and panic in the Kabul government and foreign missions who fear that sudden withdrawal would lead to the return of the Taliban regime in Afghanistan.
طالبا دنبال یک فرصت میگردن که دوباره حکومت به دست بگیرن. اگر نیروهای خارجی از افغانستان بیرون شود، به نظر من که یک خطر کلان است برای مردم، گرچه که نیروهای امنیتی ما بیشک قوی و پرقدرت است.
The present government of Donald Trump has understood it very clearly, and it has stopped all the arms aid to Pakistan. It is also utilizing the United Nations bodies like Financial Action Task Force to put pressure on Pakistan, and maybe in the month of February they are going to take a final decision as to what exactly is Pakistan doing with regard to stopping terrorism. So while the statement is very true that Pakistan has always backstabbed USA, but USA has taken so many years to understand it. Let us hope that now the pressure on Pakistan should be put so much that it finally stops carrying out all terror activities, not only against USA in Afghanistan, but also against the rest of the world.
The attack on a government building is like a direct threat and warning to the government of Afghanistan by the Taliban. In response to it, yet again, Afghanistan has reiterated its position on Pakistan's supported Taliban's role in the attack. Kabul has exhibited that with every terrorist attack, the resolve to eliminate Taliban terrorists grows even stronger. The return of Taliban regime in Afghanistan would mean that the Pakistan's hold on Afghanistan will intensify even more, and the manifestation of terror camps will extend to another safe haven of Pakistan.